Hey guys, AORN here bringing you another PvP guide. This time for the Fury Warrior in World of Warcraft Legion patch 7.1.5. A lot of people such as myself have played the game all the way since vanilla. Me ideally, I've always been a big fan of the warrior class. In any MMORPG or regular RPG games I play, I always play melee and always play the axe wielding badass. I like to cut off heads, I like to make people bleed, and make people run in the heat of battle. To begin this guide, I would like to show you the talents I run with. First talent is Fresh Meat, which makes Bloodthirst have a 60% increased critical strike chance against targets that are above 80% health. This is the optimal choice in this tier, because Bloodthirst critting makes you enrage. You enrage, you deal more damage. Simple as that. And as Fury, we want to do as much damage as we can. For a second tier, I personally choose Stormbolt because I'm running KFC right now. And Stormbolt is a great utility to help our Hunterland traps. And therefore, if the target is trapped, we will get kills. Stormbolt stuns the target for 4 seconds, and the stun has a 20-yard range. For our level 45 tier, it has to be Avatar. Transform you into a badass of a Colossus for 20 seconds, causing you to deal 20% increased damage and removing all roots and snares. This is the optimal choice for this tier because, again, the more damage, the better for Fury. For a level 60 tier, I personally choose Furious Charge. The reason is Fury Warriors have very good self-healing with Bloodthirst, and regeneration, and battle trance. I will get to that later. And this is another extra tool to that arsenal. When you charge, it increases the healing of your Bloodthirst by 300%. That's a lot of healing, especially if you stack it with Enraged Regeneration, which reduces the damage taken by 30%, and Bloodthirst restores an additional 20% health. This is a very solid choice. I recommend it. You will be happy with the results. For a level 75 tier, I choose Carnage, which reduces the cost of Rampage by 15 rage. I personally run with this choice because Rampage is a very hard-hitting ability as a Fury Warrior, and you want to use it every time it's up on demand. And Rampage having a reduced cost means that you can use it more, therefore increasing your damage output. For a level 90 tier, I choose Inner Rage, which makes Raging Blow no longer requiring rage and deals 150% damage, but it has a 4.5 second cooldown. The reason I take this is because Raging Blow is your hardest hitting ability. It deals a lot of damage. Even though it's on a 4.5 second cooldown now, you don't depend on being enraged to have the ability active. You can now just charge in there and use Raging Blow, which will also have a good chance of enraging you. For our level 100 tier, we have between Bladestorm, Reckless Abandon, and Dragon War. Reckless Abandon makes it so that your battle cry lasts 2 seconds longer and generates 100 rage. I always run with this choice. Even though Dragon War increases your damage by 16% for 6 seconds and ignores armor, Reckless Abandon gives you that full rage bar right after you use your battle cry. The reason I choose this is because right before you pop your damage and cooldowns, you will have some rage that you can use on your abilities, and you might be able to get a Rampage proc, which deals a lot of damage. So you charge in combat, you'll get rage, you will use your Rampage proc, then you activate your cooldowns, you will have a full rage bar, therefore you can use another Rampage, which is a lot of damage, and it's a much more consistent talent than Dragon Roar is. And moving on to the honor talents. In the first row we have Trinket, Adaptation, and Relentless. I would recommend Relentless if you're facing teams with a lot of stuns and you're an orc, and Adaptation might be good in certain situations, but I personally am an old school type guy. I like to be able to trinket myself whenever I feel it's needed. On our next tier we have Hardness, Reinforced Armor, and Sparring. You can choose accordingly depending on the comp. For our third tier we have Death Row, Disarm, and Death Sentence. I choose Death Sentence because Execute will have a 15-yard range, causing you to charge to targets when used. This ability goes very well with an artifact trait that I will get to after the honor talents. On our other tier we have Rage Machine, which makes non-periodic attacks against you generate 5 rage. It's not a bad choice. We have Spell Reflect, reflecting all spells cast on you, and it lasts for 3 seconds. So it's not like it used to be anymore, guys, where you would activate a Spell Reflect and an Imp Bolt would consume the Spell Reflect. Now it reflects all the spells for the duration. This is a very powerful talent against casters if used properly. And then we have Master and Commander, which is a new talent. It reduces the cooldown of Commanding Shout by 2 minutes, thus making Commanding Shout a 1-minute cooldown. This can be beneficial for you and your team in certain situations, so I would keep that as a backup card, but I definitely recommend Spell Reflect. On our other tier we have Barbarian, we have Battle Trance, and Thirst for Battle. I highly recommend you choose Battle Trance. After you Raging Blow the same target twice, you go into a trance, causing you to regenerate 4% of your health and generate 5 rage every 3 seconds for 12 seconds. So basically, you having uptime on the target and Raging Blowing the target twice will make you regenerate health and rage constantly, thus making you a bit tankier to kill and giving you more damage because you get more rage. So I highly recommend Battle Trance for PvP, guys. Then on our last tier we have Slaughterhouse, we have Endless Rage, and Death Wish. All these 3 talents are good, but I would say sorry, the most viable talent is Endless Rage. It increases the duration of your Enrage effect by 2 seconds, and your Raging Blow refreshes the duration of your Enrage. So basically, guys, if you manage to be enraged and you Raging Blow the target, you will get more enraged. So if you time your abilities right, you will stay enraged for a long time, thus increasing your overall damage. But play with caution because you also take some damage when you're enraged, right? Now, I'm going to move on to the artifact trait that I told you guys about. So Death Sentence increases the damage of your Execute by 15 yards. The reason I find that is so viable is because it synergizes with the artifact trait Juggernaut, which Execute increases damage dealt by Execute by 5% for 6 seconds, stacking up to 99 times, guys. Obviously, you will never stack and Execute up to 99 times in an arena match, but you will be able to stack it around 10-15 stacks if you have a good rage bar and you spam Execute and the target somehow miraculously lives through your Execute strikes. So this is a very powerful talent, and we must also keep in mind the ability Sense Death, which Execute has a 15% chance to make your next Execute cost no rage. So you have a chance of executing a target in your next Execute not costing any rage, thus benefiting you towards the Juggernaut talent. The more executes, the more damage the next Execute does. So these are some things that are very beneficial to you. Some of the other things that make Fury very powerful right now, if played right, is that unlike Arms Warriors, where your Battle Cry increases your crit, as Fury, the artifact trait Raging Berserker makes all the damage you deal during Enrage increased by 4%, and Unrivaled Strength increases your critical strike damage you deal by 20% during Battle Cry, not critical strike damage. So when you crit as a Fury in Battle Cry, it will deal way more damage than a crit would in Battle Cry as Arms. Very important talent. Keep your eyes open for that. And now, guys, I would like to demonstrate for you on a training dummy how I usually engage and what I do. So let's get to it. So ideally, you would want to charge to get rage. Do the initial battle cry, Raging Blow, Rampage, pop your cooldowns, Odin's Fury, Rampage again, Raging Blow, Bloodthirst, then Raging Blow one more time, Rampage, Bloodthirst, and then the target should be dead by now. If not, you could just spam executes on it. I will make more in-depth guide and keep you guys updated with some fresh Fury PvP content and arena footage. Stay tuned, guys. I will have constant guides uploaded almost daily, and may you all have a good day. Thank you. Like and subscribe.